Hospitals sterilize entire surgical suites with it. The CDC classifies it as a high-level disinfectant. The FDA approved it for food processing. The EPA lists it as a registered disinfectant. It kills bacteria, it kills viruses, it kills fungi. It costs $2. Right now, under your kitchen sink, you probably have 6 to 10 specialized cleaning products, a dedicated toilet cleaner, a separate shower spray, a glass cleaner, a grout whitener, a stain remover, a disinfectant wipe. Collectively, those products cost a typical American household over $75 a year. Many of them already contain hydrogen peroxide or one of its chemical derivatives, repackaged with fragrance, thickener, and dye, then sold back to you at a 3,000% markup. This is a plain brown bottle. No logo, no slogan. Bottom shelf at every pharmacy in the country. And it performs the same oxidation chemistry as over 20 of those specialized products. One compound, one chemical mechanism, 20 applications. I'm going to walk you through every single one, but first you need to understand why you don't already know this, because that story is worth more than any cleaning hack. This channel exists to dig up exactly this kind of buried practical knowledge. The things that used to be common sense before a $316 billion global industry made them invisible. Hit subscribe. The information is free, but it won't stay easy to find. We make sure it does. Now, hydrogen peroxide was first synthesized in 1818 by a French chemist named Louis-Jacques Thénard. He produced it by reacting barium peroxide with nitric acid. It was not obscure. It was not fringe. By the early 20th century, it was a household staple across 3 continents. Home economics textbooks from the 1940s through the 1960s referenced it routinely. American domestic science guides listed it alongside baking soda and white vinegar as a foundational cleaning agent. In European households, it served double duty, medicine cabinet and cleaning cabinet. In Japanese homes especially, hydrogen peroxide occupied a role similar to baking soda in American folk tradition. A single, cheap, multi-purpose compound passed from grandmother to daughter, generation after generation. This was standard knowledge, exposed in classrooms, printed in government pamphlets, practiced in millions of homes. It did not vanish because it stopped working. It vanished because someone found a way to make more money. Beginning in the 1960s, the cleaning product industry fragmented the market deliberately. One product became 5, 5 became 15, 15 became 40. A dedicated toilet cleaner, a separate shower spray, a distinct glass cleaner, a specialized grout whitener, each one engineered with proprietary fragrances and thickening agents to feel different from a simple, unpatentable compound that costs pennies to manufacture. The result? The United States household cleaning market alone is estimated at $55.82 billion in 2025, projected to hit $88.10 billion by 2034. Procter & Gamble's Tide product line generated $4.8 billion in 2024. Clorox's disinfecting products brought in $1.9 billion. The global cleaning industry sits at $315.9 billion and climbing toward $497.5 billion by 2034. Those numbers do not tolerate a $2 competitor. Nobody banned hydrogen peroxide. Nobody pulled it from shelves. They simply outspent it. They let generational knowledge die of natural causes. And then they sold you back the same chemistry in a prettier bottle. Now here's what we do on this channel. Every week we go deeper. We maintain a vault, a growing research library, covering topics exactly like this one. Ancient remedies with modern scientific validation. Suppressed knowledge with exposed economics. Each entry is no fluff, fully sourced, and built to save you money or protect your health. The vault link is in the description. If what you're hearing right now is useful, that vault is where the deep cuts live. But stay right here because you need the chemistry before the applications make sense. Hydrogen peroxide, H₂O₂, two hydrogen atoms, two oxygen atoms. The key is that oxygen-oxygen bond. It is weak, deliberately unstable. When hydrogen peroxide contacts organic matter, bacteria, mold, a bloodstain, a wine spill, that bond breaks. The molecule decomposes into water and oxygen. Two molecules of H₂O₂ become two molecules of H₂O plus one molecule of O2, water and oxygen. That is it. Those are the only byproducts. But here is where it gets lethal for microbes. During that breakdown, hydrogen peroxide generates hydroxyl radicals. These are extremely high-energy molecules. They attack microbial cell membranes. They denature proteins. They damage DNA. This is why the CDC classifies 3% hydrogen peroxide as effective against bacteria, viruses, mold, and fungi. It is not a gentle antiseptic. It is an oxidative destroyer. The same oxidizing action does something else. It breaks apart organic chromophores. Those are the molecular structures that give stains their color. The oxygen radical attacks the chromophore, disrupts its electron configuration, and the color disappears. Same mechanism that kills bacteria also removes stains. One reaction, one mechanism, 20 applications. This is not 20 folk remedies taped together. This is one piece of verified chemistry applied 20 ways, and hospitals already know it. And vaporized hydrogen peroxide, VHP, is used to sterilize entire surgical suites. The vapor fills the room, contacts every surface, decomposes into water and oxygen, and leaves zero toxic residue. 60% of global hydrogen peroxide production goes to industrial bleaching and pulp and paper manufacturing. The cleaning industry already uses this compound at scale. They just repackage it for consumers and charge you dramatically more. Let me say that again. Many of the branded cleaning products under your sink already contain hydrogen peroxide or a hydrogen peroxide derivative as their active ingredient. You are already paying for it. You are just paying a 3,000% markup for the fragrance and the label. If this is landing for you, if you are starting to see the pattern, do me a favor. Subscribe. Share this video with one person who still buys $8 spray bottles of repackaged oxidizer. This knowledge used to be common sense. It is not anymore. Every share puts it back in circulation. The vault link is in the description for deep dives. But stay here. We are about to get practical. Before I give you the 20 applications, I owe you the limitations. I'm not going to pretend this is magic. That is not what we do here. Hydrogen peroxide can lighten colored fabrics. Always spot test first on an inconspicuous area. Wait 5 minutes. If the color holds, proceed. Never mix hydrogen peroxide with vinegar in the same container. The combination forms peracetic acid, which irritates lungs and mucous membranes. You can use them sequentially. Peroxide first, wipe, then vinegar, but never together in one bottle. Never mix it with bleach. Dangerous reaction. Full stop. It can etch certain natural stones. Marble, granite, and limestone are vulnerable. Test first or avoid entirely on those surfaces. It degrades in light. That brown bottle is not decorative. It is functional. Ultraviolet radiation accelerates decomposition. Store it sealed in a cool, dark place. Properly stored, it loses less than 2% potency per year. And here is the big one: wound care. For decades, hydrogen peroxide was the go-to for cuts and scrapes. The bubbling looked like it was working, and it was killing bacteria. but modern clinical evidence shows it also damages healthy tissue. The oxidative action that destroys microbes does not discriminate. It attacks your own cells too, slowing healing. Board-certified physicians now recommend soap, water, and antibiotic ointment instead. This is not suppression. This is a legitimate medical update. I am telling you because honesty is what separates research from sales pitches. 19 of the 20 applications I'm about to give you remain fully supported by current science. The wound care update removes one. That is transparency, not weakness. Now, the 20 applications, 3% hydrogen peroxide, the standard brown bottle, unless I say otherwise. Laundry and fabric. First, bleach alternative for whites. Add 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide directly to the drum of your washing machine. Run a normal cycle. The oxidation reaction whitens fabric without the chlorine damage of traditional bleach. A 64-ounce bottle of hydrogen peroxide costs approximately $2. A comparable amount of color-safe bleach costs $8 to $12. Second, blood stain remover. Apply 3% hydrogen peroxide undiluted directly to the stain. You will see visible bubbling. That bubbling is the decomposition reaction in real time. Oxygen releasing as the peroxide breaks down the hemoglobin. Let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Blot. Repeat if needed. This works on fresh stains and stains up to 48 hours old. Third, pillow and mattress whitener. Mix 1 cup of hydrogen peroxide with 1 tablespoon of liquid dish soap and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Apply to yellowed areas. The peroxide handles oxidation. The baking soda provides mild abrasion. The soap acts as surfactant. Let it sit for 30 minutes. Blot and air dry. Kitchen sanitation. Fourth, cutting board disinfectant. Spray undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide across the entire surface. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Rinse with water. The CDC confirms effectiveness against Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria at this concentration and contact time. Fifth, produce wash. Add 1/4 cup of hydrogen peroxide to a basin of cold water. Submerge fruits and vegetables for 5 minutes. Rinse with clean water. The FDA has approved hydrogen peroxide for food processing applications. You are applying the same principle at home at a lower concentration. Sixth, sponge sanitizer. Submerge your kitchen sponge in a bowl of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Soak for 10 minutes. Squeeze and rinse. Kitchen sponges harbor an estimated 10 million bacteria per square inch. The hydroxyl radicals generated during decomposition attack those colonies directly. Seventh, food storage container stain remover. Tomato sauce stains on plastic containers are chromophore-based discoloration. Spray hydrogen peroxide inside the container. Let it sit for 30 minutes in direct sunlight if possible. The UV accelerates the reaction. Rinse, the stain oxidizes and disappears. Bathroom. Eighth, grout whitener. Apply undiluted hydrogen peroxide to grout lines. Let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Scrub with a stiff brush. The oxidation breaks down mold, mildew, and organic discoloration embedded in the porous grout surface. A commercial grout whitener costs $6 to $10. This costs cents. Ninth, mold and mildew killer. Spray undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto mold-affected areas. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Wipe clean. The EPA lists hydrogen peroxide as an effective antimicrobial agent against mold species. For stubborn areas, apply twice with a 10-minute rest between applications. 10th, toilet bowl cleaner. Pour 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide into the bowl. Let it soak for 20 minutes. Scrub with a toilet brush. Flush. The oxidative reaction handles both disinfection and stain removal in a single application. A branded toilet cleaner costs $3 to $5 per bottle and contains, check the label, frequently contains hydrogen peroxide as an active ingredient. 11th, shower cleaner. Spray undiluted peroxide across shower walls, doors, and fixtures. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Wipe down. The decomposition products are water and oxygen. No chemical residue, no fumes, no ventilation required. Compare that to the warning label on a commercial shower cleaner. General surfaces. 12th, hard surface disinfectant. Spray 3% hydrogen peroxide on countertops, tables, and high-touch surfaces. Allow 10 minutes of contact time. Wipe clean. This is the same mechanism hospitals use at higher concentrations in vapor form. 13th, glass and mirror cleaner. Spray hydrogen peroxide onto glass surfaces. Wipe with a lint-free cloth. It leaves 0 streaks because the decomposition products are only water and oxygen. No surfactant residue, no film. A bottle of branded glass cleaner costs $4 to $6. The active cleaning in many of them is an oxidizer. 14th, tile floor cleaner. Add 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide to 1 gallon of warm water. Mop normally. Safe for ceramic and porcelain tile. Disinfects and brightens simultaneously. Avoid on natural stone. 15th, trash can deodorizer. Spray the interior of trash cans with undiluted peroxide after emptying. Let it air dry. The oxidation neutralizes the organic compounds that cause odor. Not masking, neutralizing. There is a chemical difference. 16th, humidifier cleaner. Run a solution of 1 cup hydrogen peroxide to 1 gallon of water through your humidifier once a month. It kills mold and bacteria inside the reservoir and tubing. A commercial humidifier cleaning solution costs $7 to $12. This costs pennies. Personal care. 17th, toothbrush sanitizer. Submerge your toothbrush head in a small cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide for 5 minutes. Rinse before use. The American Dental Association acknowledges antimicrobial properties of hydrogen peroxide for oral applications. 18th, earwax removal. A 1-to-1 dilution of 3% hydrogen peroxide with warm water. Applied with a dropper, 2 to 3 drops per ear, head tilted, 5-minute rest, then drain. This is the same active mechanism sold in branded earwax removal drops at 5 to 8 times the price. Check the ingredients on those branded drops. You will find hydrogen peroxide listed first. 19th, nail whitener. Soak fingernails in a shallow dish of 3% hydrogen peroxide for 5 minutes. The oxidation breaks down the organic staining compounds. Rinse and moisturize. Commercial nail whitening products cost $6 to $10. The active ingredient is typically a peroxide compound. That is 19 verified applications from a single $2 bottle. One mechanism, oxidative decomposition, one compound, exposed one application at a time. Here is what you are looking at. The chemistry is not disputed. The CDC confirms the disinfectant classification. The FDA approves it for food contact. The EPA registers it as an antimicrobial. Hospitals trust vaporized hydrogen peroxide to sterilize surgical environments where a single surviving microbe could kill a patient. 60% of global production goes to industrial bleaching because the paper industry figured out this math decades ago. The cleaning industry already uses this compound. They know the chemistry. They rely on the chemistry. They just repackage it, add lavender fragrance, design a label, and sell it back to you at a markup that would embarrass a loan shark. 1.2 million views on a single YouTube video covering these applications. That is not niche curiosity. That is a knowledge vacuum so enormous that filling it goes viral. People are hungry for this. They sense something is missing from what they were taught. They are right. Buy a case of hydrogen peroxide. Learn the 19 applications. Stop funding a $316 billion industry to sell you water, oxygen, and a pleasant scent at a 3,000% markup. The knowledge was never banned. It was never classified. It was never disproven. It was outspent. Exposed to market forces designed to make you forget what your grandmother knew without trying. Now it is yours. Use it.